Bahubali, The Beginning, is only the second SS Rajamouli movie I have ever watched in my entire lifetime, and already he's becoming one of my favourite film directors. Let's talk about why. Hey guys, I'm Carl, welcome to my movie film show. Feel free to subscribe down below if you would like to, but we're here today to talk about Bahubali, The Beginning. And there's a good chance I'm saying that name wrong because as people roasted me in the comments on my video for Triple R, I clearly got one of the actors' names wrong and people very much let me know it. So I'm more likely to get someone's name wrong in this or the name of the movie altogether. And you can roast me all you want in the comments for that one too. So like I just mentioned, I recently reviewed Triple R, Rise, Roar, Revolt, and it very quickly became the most viewed video in the history of my channel, which I am greatly appreciative for. I really appreciate people checking out that video. But that movie alone, I gushed over in that review. I said how much I loved it, and in the comment section for my review of Triple R, a lot of people came along and gave me some great suggestions for movies to check out, one of which was Bahubali, Part 1 and Part 2. So I checked out Part 1, a movie from 2015, yet another epic action-adventure movie, and I'm very glad I did because this movie is the epitome of epic. It's a different type of story to Rise, Roar, Revolt, but it's a very engaging story. I don't think there's any point within this movie where my eyes were turned away from the screen. I was constantly engaged throughout this movie. It's a very intriguing movie which just captivates your attention. Right from the very beginning, it's very clear this is a grand, epic scale story. The visuals are stunning and the large scale set pieces are breathtaking. And this is probably where I'm going to mess up someone's name. I believe the lead actor's name is Prabhas. That's what it said on how to pronounce. So probably got it wrong, but the lead actor in the movie is phenomenal. He's really good in his role. He's got so much to do, from being an action hero to being, you know, a romantic lead at one point, to being a singer at another point. He's so much to do and he does it all really, really well. Very interestingly, in my research for this movie, after I watched the movie, I found out that this was actually the first ever Indian movie shot in IMAX. And it was also the very first South Indian movie to be released in that format. And for a movie this epic, it's the perfect format to be seen because it just makes the visuals that little bit more epic. The film reportedly had a budget of around 40 million US dollars, or the equivalent of that, which is a decent sized budget, but certainly not Marvel level budgets, and still they pulled out an epic story that's perhaps better than a lot of Marvel movies. According to director SS Rajamouli, the film was over 3 years in the making. That's a long time, especially considering this movie came out in 2015. It was 2012 when they started. Pretty impressive. A lot of work went into this movie, and it clearly shows. I also found out this was Rajamouli's 10th movie, which is a lot of movies, and you can really see his expertise beginning to show here. You can see how good of a storyteller he's becoming. But overall, the most impressive thing with this movie is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the overall scale and grandeur of this movie. It's the sort of movie that can only be accomplished by a very visionary director. Some of the shots in the movie have so much going on that it takes a certain special creative mind to even come up with those type of things. Inside the city when they're erecting the golden statue, there's so many pieces of play within that scene and visually it's just stunning. But ultimately, the main scene that blows it all away is the end epic battle scene, because that truly is an epic battle scene that I haven't seen since the likes of Lord of the Rings. That scale of battle. So many bodies, and I was amazed to find out it wasn't all just CGI to make up the numbers. Reportedly, they had over 2,000 extras, if not more, and the actual scene took over 6 months to shoot. The filmmakers' commitment to making a truly good movie is shown by the length of time they took to make their movie. Hollywood will not take 3 years to make a movie unless it's one of their top tier directors like James Cameron, because they're not going to invest that much time without making money in it. That's why a lot of movies within Hollywood nowadays are very, very rushed. But this one, they took the time, they made a very good, very entertaining story with some sensational visuals. And I was amazed to see just how grand and epic this movie was, and I hadn't heard of it because I hadn't heard of it before, and I'm sure glad that I had, and I've now checked it out. Now, the movie isn't a flawless movie. I don't think it's as good as Triple R was, in my opinion. I think it has a couple of things where you skip over certain story things, and the same with the avalanche. I didn't think the special effects were super top tier, but that was the only minor complaint within the movie. But the movie had so much going for it. So great acting, overall really good visual effects, practical and special effect wise. The scale of the movie, as I mentioned previously, is so fantastic. That end battle is phenomenal, and ultimately the movie leaves you on a cliffhanger that makes you want to watch part 2. And if you guys want me to check out part 2, if you want me to review part 2, drop a like on the video. If we hit 100 likes on this video, I will do a review of part 2, the conclusion. And I actually really look forward to that because I loved part 1. So as always here on Carl's Movie Film Show, for every movie or review, we get down to a rating out of 10. And for me, I would give Bahubali an 8 out of 10. A very, very good, enjoyable movie, which I'd highly recommend checking out if you haven't already seen it. And if you haven't already seen it, my review for Triple R is right over here. Most viewed video on my channel, which I can't say thank you enough for. And if you've already seen that one, there's a different video to check out right over here.